Hello, my name is Michael L. Penman and we're in the Mind Flux studios today, and what we're going to be looking at is generating some techno beats using XO. So let's just get that loaded in and we'll have a look at it. So with XO, what you have is a space, and all these little dots are all the samples which are loaded in here. So before we start clicking on the dots and seeing what these are, let's actually just load in our samples. So this is really easy. So you just click on the folder in the top right, you go and add the folder you want, and then you just click scan or refresh. You can see I've already loaded my techno samples in here, as well as a few other sample packs I really like, and that'll allow me just to work with these samples. So I don't really want all these samples because a lot of these are from the XO factory library, so let's just narrow this down. So I'm going to click on the magnifying glass, and here are sample folders. So let's deselect all these. And now you can see only the techno samples is shown. I can also narrow this down into the individual values, and you'll actually see that the colors kind of stay the same. So there's a lot of red dots still there, and that is all your kicks. You can also narrow it by frequencies. So if you're looking for just lower sounds, you can pull that down, as well as length, if you're looking for shorter sounds or longer sounds. And I'm assuming drumminess is just allowing you not to have sound effects and stuff in there. Okay, so let's find some drums we like. So I quite like that one, but it's not 100%. You'll notice at the bottom, we actually get this similarity bar. Now this gives us a selection, I think up to 16 different sounds. Are all similar character, which is great if you're just looking to quickly change a beat and you want something similar. So say once you've got the sample you want, you're going to want to load it into one of these 8 sample slots. And you'll notice each one has a bar next to it, so you're just going to click and then drag that in. You also get the individual sample, editing tools, send effects, routing, and its sequencer. So with all your samples loaded, you're going to want to sync this to the tempo of your DAW. In this case I'm using Ableton, but this will work the same, I do believe, in other DAWs. So you get this handy little host sync, and then this play button means when I press play up here, this XO will wait to play until this is played. Okay, so I haven't loaded all my samples into this one, but I have spent a bit of time getting a selection I really like in here. So let's work with this one. Okay, so this is mute and mute. Cool. So to get into this editor view, because you'll be in the space view, you're going to want to hit edit. Now you've got all your sample editing tools, envelopes, pitch, and all that in here, which is great. But then you've got this step sequencer with 2 pattern variations. So to enter some notes, so let's just clear these. All you need to do is click. So you see how easy that was to clear them. So all I need to do now is click. So let's just get this playing. That's great, but I might want to add some variation to the shaker. So let's just solo it. So I can solo it within XO by clicking the S button. So to add this velocity variation, just drag the individual step sequencer slot to get this velocity variation. What you may also want to do is add some rolls. So the way to do this is to jump down to the little buttons below the sequencer steps and just drag it up. So I think, yeah, you can get up to 4 rolls. If you want more velocity variation, I think that's fine, but if you want more, You've got the velocity sensitivity over here. So we've got our sequencer A set up. What you also have is B. So all of these, as you can see, are getting cloned. So as soon as I say enter our next note, it won't be cloned. So once this is playing, what you'll probably want to do is to switch between A and B. So effectively you get a 2-bar pattern. So I can go AB or AAAB, which effectively is saying for 4 bars you're going to have your straight up beat, and then on the 4th bar, which is B, this is going to be more of your fill. So let's just look at AB. So that just swaps between them. So what I could do is do AAAB and let's say get more of a the drum fill, sorry. Okay, so let's just take out that one there. Maybe let's pause that, a bit of space. I think that should be enough. So there's a little fill at the end there. Now let's look at actually editing these individual samples. There will be occasions where you actually load in a loop. So you can quickly edit in there by clicking the little bar over the waveform, and then you get a full waveform sample editor. Again, you can load in other sounds. It's quite good as well if you find one you like to favorite it. So I could narrow down that sample if I wanted to add some fade ins and fade outs. So that's really useful. So let's see if there's any of the ones we want to do here. So I think the clap, whatever that one with the vocal is, which is this one. So let's just narrow it in, maybe add a little fade. If you want more control over it, you do have this envelope here, which gives you more transient. Holds the sound a bit longer. And adds a decay time. You can pan it. It's a bit loud, so let's pull the volume down. Let's change the pitch. It's nice, it's a bit more like a percussion sound. Where's the tonality about? Lower? Higher? Do you want to cut out any low end? Or do you want to cut out any high end? So let's do that. Again, the velocity sensitivity. This is your routing, we'll look at in a second. Okay, so we've done a bit of editing on this clap sound. And you can hear it's already got a bit of reverb on it. That's because you've got your 2 send effects here, which go to effect 1 and effect 2. You can select the chosen effect you want. So let's try this dark room. Let's switch off 2. The level of the effect, or length I should say. That's your level here. The tonality. I think that sounds quite nice. Let's just tighten the length up a bit. Okay, so switch that off. Let's grab a delay. I like dotted 8s, so let's do that. So length is affects the feedback. Again, tonality. The sound's already quite mid-rangey, so we're not getting much out of the tonality, but that's good. So let's bring these 2 effects out and let's just... Okay, let's unsole it and add it to a few more. Okay, so that's sounding good. Overall, in the master, you can also add in a number of distortion effects. Okay, so we've added effects, and now what we're going to want to do is route all these different slots into 8 individual audio tracks. So let's just go, let's delete that one and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or a quick way actually, because this will be a bit long-winded, because what we're going to want to do is route each individual part. So for example, I'm going to go to XO and then choose a bus for each one, and then an input. So now all I need to do is name it and name each individual one and swap out the bus. Okay, so it's kind of like a low perk, I guess, but it's called kick in the plugin. Snare. It's kind of like a snare clap kind of thing. Clap. You can also route multiple buses or multiple sounds to one bus and then just have them as one audio track. But I think a lot of these need a bit of more leveling and stuff like that. Where are we on? 5 now. And I've forgotten. So let's just go through here and set it up, and then we'll go back and add more audio tracks. So kick, let's route that to bus 1. So that's now routed to bus 1. Bus 2, 3, and so on. And like I said, it's going to allow us the ability to add all our own favorite effects from Ableton, from Logic, from NI, or just whatever ones you like the UA ones I often use. Okay, that's correct. I just always like to double check the numbers, because often I won't pay attention and I'll accidentally leave one, or I'll put 2 to the same one. So now we're on 5th one, which is closed hi-hat and then open hi-hat. And then we have the stab. Stab. And the last hit, which was the shaker. Okay, so now all the sounds are going to come into these 8 audio tracks within Ableton. And here's our effects coming out the master. So we could record that as well. Obviously we'll need to leave that on actually. I'll just mute that. The reason why I was doing that is just so we don't double monitor everything, so I don't hear the same thing twice, and it'll make it all overly loud. Okay, so let me just name that effects. So now that we've got this set up, we can start to add in our own effects. For example, let's add in the kick rumble maker I made ages ago. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, if you go to the Mind Flux website, there's a kick rumble maker there, and it's free to download. So this will give us that stereotypical techno kick reverb. It might be overly loud, but let's just lower these levels and then work it in. Let's make this stab view more dubby. Let's just chuck on our lovely echo. Where are you? I've lost them. There you go. Anytime I'm doing something dubby, I like to chuck a couple of delays on with varying times and have the effects going, or sorry, a modulator, in this case an LFO, to the filter frequency. Let's do the same here. I often like to use it on synced. now that I've done that, I would obviously go through and do a little bit more processing. But why don't we just save this as one individual group? So Command G once you've got them all selected. We can call this EXO Techno Maker. Let's call it Beat Maker actually, so we know it's for that. And then what I have in my own folder, I have a whole load of clips, which is just preformed ideas that allow me to quickly load this in. And the great thing is with EXO, so if we jump back in there, is you can quickly change the beat and you can quickly change the sample. So first of all, to change the sample, go to the sample combiner. And like what we had in Space, this gives you a whole lot of different samples. And what you can do is randomize that. You can also change the whole kit from this little area here. For example, that's kind of cool. That would be quite a nice top loop to work with. I just need to add a lower kick. So let's say once you've found a whole lot of sounds you like, and let's say we didn't particularly like the beat, we can actually randomize the beat as well, or just change it. We can edit these, or again randomize them. So as you can see, EXO is brilliant for generating your own ideas from your own sounds. The sequencer is really good, really easy to work with. The beat combiner is amazing. And though there's not a huge amount of editing capabilities and effects on here, the ability to route it out into your DAW makes it so much better. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this. We've explored EXO, looked at ways we can use this in our productions to generate ideas, to generate our own beats from our own samples. And if you've liked this, please give us a like, subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with all our latest videos. And if you'd like to check out some of our work, our sample packs and preset packs, go to www.mind-flux.com.